Welcome to Deep Dive with Dr. Fitz. I'm your host, Dr. Sean Fitzpatrick, Superintendent of Schools here in the Schuylkill Haven Area School District. And we are on Season 2, Episode 26. Some of the fastest athletes in my school are surrounding me right now. Not just fast, but endurance-type athletes, too. To my very right, Isabella Hughes. She's a senior. Izzy's an award winner. You can see her name down on the big board. Also, Anna Schaeffer, another senior. I think you've got some awards too, Schaeffer. You're another senior. Karlee Feger, also a senior. We know you've got awards, and you had a really cool award last year that was you were traveling and all. We talked about that in a past episode. And one of my favorite actors/athletes in the school, Bella Murphy, a junior. Welcome to Deep Dive with Dr. Fitz, ladies. I'm so excited for this episode because the springtime, it's my favorite time of the school year. You all know that because I love coming out of a hard winter, and that's what tells us who we really are in life. Are we positive people? Can we get through those rough winters? And then I get to see all the fun stuff on campus. Softball's playing outdoors, baseball's playing outdoors, track and field's outdoors, and then, of course, the musical, which happens this weekend. So let's take a second and give a couple district updates. Musical is this weekend. Senior Citizen showing this Thursday evening. So that would be tonight, Thursday, April 10th. Senior Citizens, free admission for you, 6 p.m. at the Swirling Auditorium. Then Friday and Saturday night shows begin at 7 p.m. Sunday matinee at 3 p.m. And it is called Pop Stars. Great musical, a lot of fun, a lot of singing. Come out and support them. Big congratulations to Mrs. Stauffer's 8th grade girls. This team was unbelievable. They put together a great video for What's So Cool About Manufacturing, and they won one of the biggest awards that you can win in our region, which is Outstanding Videography. Congratulations. Great job to our What's So Cool About Manufacturing team and Mrs. Stauffer. Also a congratulations. There's so many girls' records being broken to the right of me, but we broke the boys' 4x100 meter relay. That team broke the school record last week, so they will have the honor of getting their names pasted over the old names on the big board down at Rotary Field. And one last update to mention, this young lady to my right, Anna Schaeffer, was honored by the Daughters of the American Revolution with the Good Citizenship Award and a $150 million, $150 Good Citizenship Scholarship. We'll get you the millions later. You have to work towards those, all right? But no, that's a great honor. So congratulations to you as well. So let's get to meet these talented young ladies. We'll start over here with Izzy. Let's go around. Each of you, introduce yourself. Again, tell us what events you compete in track and field this year.
My name's Isabella Hughes. I'm a senior here at Schuylkill Haven, and I compete in the 100-meter hurdles, 300-meter hurdles, and the 4x4.
Great. Other sports, by the way. You're also a runner.
I also do cross country.
Good. I knew that, too. Anna Schaeffer.
My name's Anna Schaeffer, and I mostly do distance and mid-distance, and I'm on the 4x4, so.
Play some other sports?
Yeah, I do cross country and basketball.
Excellent. Good job. Karlee.
My name is Karlee Feger. I'm a senior here, and I compete in the shot put, discus, and javelin, and I also was on our girls volleyball team.
Yes, you were. And you also did some reporting. I've seen you on the football sidelines a time or two with me. So good. I almost said good stuff. We're not saying good stuff anymore, right? What do you do if I say good stuff? You kick me.
Kick you.
Bella Murphy, one of my favorite actors.
I'm Bella. I'm a junior, and I do the high jump, triple jump, and I do both hurdles. I also play soccer during the fall.
And she's in the musical in the spring, and you get to see her this weekend. Favorite part about being a member of the track and field team? Right back to you, Bella Murphy. What's your favorite part of track and field?
Honestly, I love all of my teammates. Like, they're all so encouraging and just the sweetest people you'll ever meet.
You got some new teammates this year, didn't you?
Yep.
I was very impressed. By the way, the numbers are through the roof. The biggest team we've had since I've been here, and that makes me very, very proud. But you got some definitely some new teammates from other sports that have now come out for track and field. All right, Karlee, how about you? Favorite part of being on track and field?
It's just such an upbeat and fun community, like not even just within our team, but when we go to invitationals and we get to leagues and districts, everyone's supporting everyone. It's just a very fun time and everyone just enjoys competing.
Great.
I love like the individual part of track too, because it's all about like bettering your own times and distances. And I love competing against just trying to be better than I was last meet.
So that you're contributing when you can look at your data and you can say, I shaved 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, it's like win or lose, you're getting yourself better. So
Izzy Hughes.
My favorite part is probably like the friends I've made along the way on the track team. Just even from my freshman year all the way to my senior year, I've made so many good friends out of it. And it's, it's also about like running and getting good times, but the people are what get you to get those fast times. So I'd say the people really made the sport for me.
I'm going to deviate from the script. I do this occasionally. But what I love seeing the most, Pennsylvania is a tough state when it comes to spring weather. And I love seeing you get tougher, because you will literally compete in all the elements in track and field at the extreme levels. We have not had a colder week than we had just this past week in April. Wind, 35 miles per hour, spitting snow, and you're competing. And then we will literally probably get down there in the next 2 weeks at 80, 81 degrees, or even hotter. And on the track, the temperature can be up. That's the part that you're going to benefit from for the rest of your life, is being able to overcome that adversity and say, I got to be able to compete when I'm literally shivering, but I also need to be able to hydrate and be strong when it's hot towards the end of the season. That's one of the cool things I've always liked about the spring sports in general. Let's be honest, it's baseball and softball. They're in the same boat. There's days they're hitting a softball with a bat when it's 38 degrees outside, and it's vibrating through your arms, and you can't feel your shoulders for 3 days, but they still power through it. I love it. Describe the energy and the vibe of a typical track meet day. You've been competing a long time. What's that energy like on the day of a meet?
I'd say we're all pretty upbeat and excited for the upcoming meet most of the time, especially at like an invitational when we know there's a lot more competition. And I think over the years we've like developed a good warm-up routine, so we're all pretty locked in. So
you pump each other up?
Yeah, it's very encouraging track. So
yeah. How about you?
I don't know if it's just me, but as the school day progresses, I get more and more excited because I know what after school holds. And I just think that rush of adrenaline, like when I know when I step on the field, I'm excited. I know what's to come. And then I'm just waiting for that first throw to fall. So it's an exciting feeling.
So when you get to that last period of the day and you know that like the next step in your day is competing, you get pumped.
Yeah. It's that mix of nerves and excitement.
I'm not going to say good stuff, but that is. Bella, Murph, what do you think?
I'd say like pre-meet, like everyone's always like a little bit jittery,
Yeah.
like they're excited, but they're like extremely nervous because they want to do their best that they possibly can. But then like once we get into it, like everyone's like pretty calm and, as Anna said, like very upbeat and like encouraging each other to do the best that we can.
Where's your energy level, Izzy, right before a big meet?
Oh, I'm always excited. I love just being able to like come to track every week and just drop my times slow. Maybe it may be slow, but the little things are what really starts to drop your time, and you start to see progress. I really like coming to track meets every week and just dropping my time.
I'm going to go back to you for a few individual questions because I'm not able to share any of the experiences that you've done. I've never been in track and field. But when I watch someone running on a track is one thing, but then jumping over hurdles, that to me is mesmerizing because I would fall over the first one probably. So let's go to Izzy and talk about some of your 4x4 work and your hurdle work. What goes through your mind as you're on the starting blocks before a hurdles race? What type of focus do you have to hit your marks with hurdling?
I think it's definitely different for both hurdles. I'd say I have different strategies for both of them, but the 100s, I'm normally just like trying not to think about it so much because I feel like when I think about running the 100 hurdles too much, I get in my head and my steps get messed up and I don't run good. For the 300 though, I just think about like going out as fast as I can and just staying in front or catching up to the person depending on which lane I'm in. But that's what I think about.
Talk to me. You're on this 4x4 team as well. Tell me how you prepare as a team when, as Anna said, there's things you can do to shave time off your own work. But when you're on a 4x4 team, how did you learn all this? Like, how do you know to hand the baton, and how does that all work out?
Yeah, we definitely practice handoffs a lot, and I think we drop most of our time from that. I think from even like my freshman and sophomore year, like we've definitely progressed in our handoffs, and also like we just built this like team chemistry in the 4x4. We're all like super close, and we have some new people out for the 4x4 this year, which is like we have a lot of people that are really good and can be in the 4x4. So it's awesome to see that there's like so many people that like we have this year that are really good and like really passionate about being in the 4x4. So I think everybody's super passionate and competitive, so it makes it super fun. It's also nerve-wracking because, but it's super fun.
Anna Schaeffer, you're one of the leaders in this whole school district when it comes to distance running, and certainly cross-country wise. You beat your mom's record, I think. Also, we don't want to rub that in or anything, but we will. So you switch between 800 and even longer distances. You've got this blend of endurance and speed. Let some of these younger runners in on your secret to success. Let some of these younger runners in, because there's more to you just, moving your arms the right way. You have very specific breathing techniques, the way you arch your shoulders. I've heard you talk a little bit with some of these younger runners, but let them hear it now.
I would say running's like mostly mental and like not as much physical as people really think it is. And honestly, like, you can really do anything you put your mind to. So a lot of practicing is just like making sure you go hard at practice on the hard days and take the easy days lighter before meets. But mostly I just would say to everyone like younger, just like don't like give into like the pain of running. Sometimes you just got to push past it and you can do it. So I watch you run cross country, and oftentimes you're out by yourself and you're laser focused. But when you're on a 4x4 team, and there's 4 of you, how do you feed off each other? I think the 4x4 is the most exciting event in all of track. And honestly, like when I get excited, because like I'm watching my teammates run and give it their all, and it just like as I watch each leg of the relay go by, I just get more and more excited. And then I think holding that baton just like gives me more energy. So
yeah, I can see that group that you're with too. I can tell you feed off of each other, and you're together in other sports as well. All right, let's get to some throwing. So Karlee, first of all, what events are you in that you throw, and explain how you've learned how to do this?
So I do the shot put, discus, and jav. I joined track sophomore year. And really, it's just the combination of technique and power. So it's being able to have your arms and your legs combined together in one quick motion. And you can throw as many reps as you want in practice, but when it comes to meet day, you have 3 chances in each event to have your numbers fall. So it can be pretty intense. It doesn't seem as fast-paced or as hectic as some running and jumping events, but it is just as intense and competitive, just a little bit different pace.
Is there an event that you like more than another? Is there one that you'd favor if you said, I'd much rather throw the shot putter, I'd much rather throw the discus, or I'd much rather throw the javelin at somebody who I don't like? No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Is there an event you like more than the other?
Honestly, it just depends like how the week leading up to the meet went. If I'm feeling extra confident or I like the way my numbers were falling. Like for example, this past week, I really liked my shot put numbers. They were really falling. And then yesterday I hit a big PR. So it was exciting to see that my work in practice converted over into the meet yesterday. So
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. Bella Murphy, high jump, triple jump, and hurdle. So you do a little of everything. I love that. Let's start with a triple jump. Very technical. How'd you learn how to do this triple jump? And talk to me a little bit about how you focus when you're getting set to compete in the triple jump.
So honestly, it's mostly about the steps, because once you know like the motions to do the triple jump, it's honestly like a lot easier than people expect it to be. It's mostly just having consistent steps every single time, and because you get 3 run-throughs before you actually jump, so you get to see so when you do your run-throughs, you want to make sure you're consistent, and if you're scratching, which is when you step like even just like an inch over the line, you scratch and your jump doesn't count. So you just want to make sure you're always like right behind it. You don't want to look at the line though as well. Like it's just you got to be confident in it. and then you'll do great.
So understand where the line is without actually looking at it, because you're going to mess up your jump
Yes.
if you do that. You also run hurdles.
I do.
And we can't necessarily, those that are listening and our audio feed won't know this, but how tall are you?
I am 5'8".
Yeah. Yeah. And every year she's stretching a little more and becoming just a great athlete. But hurdling, as we heard, and I don't even know if hurtling's a word, but I'm going to say
No,
it.
it is.
Is hurdling, I'm allowed to say hurdling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes you a hurdler.
Yep.
She's a hurdler. But I mean, I've watched Izzy run cross country, and I know the athleticism that she brings to the table. But when you're jumping over something while you're running, and while let's be honest, there could be people on either side of you, right? You know, in either lane. It requires a certain level of focus that's just a little bit different. So talk how you learned how to hurdle and make all that work.
So honestly, I learned hurdles before I actually learned jumping. So I kind of had like a starting point for when I went into jumping, because they're both, again, all about like getting consistent steps. Only difference is that for hurdles, I'm continuing to run after I jump instead of just staying put afterwards. They're honestly pretty they're similar in some aspects, again, with steps and just having like consistency, which is honestly nice. That's why I do both, because they're similar to each other in those aspects.
Yeah. And I give a quick shout out to your coaches. You've got great Coach Stacy, Coach Laura, and all the volunteers that are helping. I know we have your dad. We get folks coming from work trying to get right to, to help out. And next year we're watching this junior high thing grow. And that's something that I'm most excited about. Like this last year, we dabbled just a little bit with junior high to get these 7th and 8th graders a little bit excited about track and field. This year, we wind up with a team, and I'm not sure we were ready for the numbers and how many kids actually came out this year. But we're talking close to 100 kids participating in track and field in a little school like Schuylkill Haven. I couldn't be more excited about that, and I need juniors and seniors like you ladies to be the examples that you are. Great examples, by the way. So let's talk about team dynamics. 4x4. Who's in the 4x4?
Izzy and I.
All right, let's go to you two on this one then. Do you talk about that handoff before every race, or is it something now that you've practiced so often you've got it down to a science? What do you think?
I definitely think we talk about it I think it's hard to say this season we really haven't run it, and we don't have a consistent 4x4 right now, because we're kind of experimenting who is the best in the 4x4. But I think if we're talking about last year, I think we all we were all nervous before, but we would talk before, and that would calm our nerves. But we'd also practice right before. I don't know. I feel we've done it for so long that it's kind of just me and Anna, at least. I feel we kind of just pick it up right away.
It's even if not as hard as the 4x1 handoffs are, so it's not as pressure. But
Who's the most intense competitor on that 4x4 team?
Honestly, maybe Audrey.
Hutch. We're talking about Hutchinson here. Oh,
all of us
hands
are,
down. She is.
I would say all of us. I think we all have an ambition to fight for.
I would be afraid to let Audrey in my office. I'm afraid she'd steal things, because I watched her in basketball, and she's such an intense defender. She steals, all the time in basketball. I'd probably agree with that. She's a good selection for the most intense. Who's most chill? Who's most laid back on the team?
This year, I'm not sure exactly what the 4x4 is going to be, but
it's hard because we don't.
So I don't know. Honestly, God, I wouldn't pick one person for that.
Yeah.
We're all so nervous. So.
How do you keep each other motivated when the weather's lousy, when it's rainy, snowy, windy, and you're still competing? How do you pick each other up? Because this is a tough time of the year to compete when you go from 70 degrees one week to 38 degrees the very next week. How do you pick each other up? How about you on this one, Karlee?
Yeah, I think especially for throwing, those rainy, muddy meets, every throw, especially with shot put and discus, you're in that circle, and then it's slippery, and the shoes that you wear to throw shot and disc have no traction on the bottom to help you spin better. So that can be nerve-wracking at times. So I think it's just that constant support, and also when we have breaks in between our throws, going up to the fence and supporting our runners and our jumpers. They may seem like separate, like we're kind of separated by like running, throwing, and jumping, but at the end of the day, we're all one team. So I think it's really important that you continue to support every single person on your team.
Good answer. Anybody want to add to that?
I think running's interesting because like you really need like all of your muscles. Even if you think like, oh, I'm like hot right now, I need to take all like my warm up stuff off. Like your muscles are still like cold, even if it could be like 60 degrees out, but you should still be like making sure that your body is like ready to run, because then that causes like injuries and stuff like that.
You know, it's been a cold winter, by the way, when we're talking about 60 degrees like it's hot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's been a rough one. Anything you want to add to that one?
No, just what both of you guys
Yeah.
have said. Yeah, just keeping a good team aspect is important. So
Yeah, I love when I hear coaches emphasize the importance of stretching, because you can't just jump into anything. Even at your age, you're young and you're nimble, and your bodies can handle a lot more. But it doesn't matter at any age. You've got to make sure that you're warmed up properly. And I think that's something we've watched more and more of in college and professional sports. When you see, you know, a quarterback out there before a game and he's doing these weird things with his legs and he's twisting his arms and they've got bands around their arms, and they literally take an hour to 90 minutes just to get their body warmed up to compete. And that tells you that they've got the greatest trainers, the greatest resources that sports can ever offer. And they're telling them, you don't go into competition without being prepared and being stretched. So I love hearing that. All right, let's have a little bit of fun. We're not going to go through a whole 12 questions with you. We'll just do more of a half dozen, you know. So let's talk about first an easy one. I'll start with Bella on this one. Your favorite class or subject at Schuylkill Haven Area High School?
Honestly, I would say anatomy this year. I love the class. I love Mrs. Schwenk. I'm so sad that she's leaving after this year, but she just makes the class so fun, and all of the dissections are so interesting. Like, she never makes the class boring.
And you're not grossed out at all by the dissections? You can handle that?
I can handle
You're
it.
thinking maybe, is that like maybe a future for you? You consider that?
It's a possibility.
All right.
I don't know for sure what I want to do yet, so.
I think I had some
Keeping my
middle
options
schoolers.
open.
Middle schoolers were dissecting some worms yesterday, so they're advancing a little advancement there to be ready to dissect cats and things of that sort that you are. Karlee Feger, favorite class for you or subject?
I've always been a fan of English. I've always been a big fan of reading and writing, and that's the career path I'm going for. Going to college for sports journalism, so I think being able to combine my love for sports and then also reading and writing is really cool.
Tell me again. You won an award for this. You went away. Where did you go?
2 summers ago, I went to George Mason University. I was invited to a journalism and media conference, so I spent a week there, explored Washington, D.C., met a lot of really cool people, and got some good experience.
I think you're falling right in line with your career. Your I always say, a career is what you're paid for, but a calling is what you love. Career is what you're
Yes,
paid for, but calling is what you're made for. And you are made for this. Like I've read some of your work, and I've watched you mature in your writing. And let's be honest, you know sports. So when I look at a sports writer that you know has never, ever run a mile, has never once competed in any sport, that it's harder to read their work. It's harder to accept their criticism of the athletes when they've never walked in their shoes. You've walked in those shoes, so you have a great perspective that I think you'll bring to that.
Thank you.
How about over here? Favorite class or subject, Anna Schaeffer?
I would say when I took government last year, that was my favorite subject. I love like law and politics.
Mr. Bates?
Yeah,
Is that all right?
Mr. Bates.
Yeah, you guys have some great debates in Mr. Bates' classes.
They
I
get
see.
pretty heated sometimes.
I
yeah.
see that. I see. I'll walk past and I don't sit still very often. So I love walking past your classrooms. And when I see the desks are separated and Mr. Bates has a good old debate going on, I sometimes stand outside and just smile a little. It's fun to listen to. Izzy Hughes, how about you?
I was going to say Mr. Bates' class that I have this year too. It's world tensions and economics. And I think I like the aspect of the class where we're not always talking about like what we're learning. We're talking about like real world things that are happening. And I think it's like good to talk about those things because I think you get a better perspective on it. And I also think Mr. Bates is really smart. So it's like nice to be able to ask somebody who's like smart, like questions.
And he loves the interaction. Doesn't he?
Definitely.
And he'll do his best to not let anyone know his personal views, and it's really important.
He'll always tell you, ask him at graduation what his opinion
May
is.
29th is your lucky day.
May 29th, you get to sit down with Mr. Bates.
I have a
Skepticism. I have my own views.
Where will he fall? That's good stuff. I said it. I'm not going to say good stuff anymore. All right, we got through the favorite class. Let's go to Karlee in this one. What's your favorite fast food spot?
Taco Bell. Absolutely Taco Bell.
Really? Ring the bell. That's a first ever Taco Bell. Wow, at my age, I don't think I can handle Taco Bell. What's your favorite meal? What's your go-to?
Oh, definitely the Doritos Locos Tacos. They're really good. And then the nacho fries. And then you have to get a Baja Blast to finish off the meal.
And what's a Baja Blast?
It's Mountain Dew, but it's like a tropical version of it. It's really good.
It is. Mr.
Really
Hale
good.
loves that Mountain Dew too. I'm going to try a tropical blast this weekend. I'm going to need a tropical blast this weekend because we've got a lot of stuff happening this weekend in this school district, and I'm not going to get a whole lot of sleep. But it doesn't seem like so. I'm to first Taco Bell. All right, favorite fast food spot for you, Anna Schaeffer?
I'd say Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. What's your favorite?
The nuggets, not the grilled ones that Brandon wants me to eat. The breaded ones,
Yeah.
and then the fries.
So Brandon, your brother, wants you to eat the grilled ones.
He says they're better, but I think he wants me just to be healthier.
Which is just good. So her brother, by the way, is pretty athletic, and he is our commencement speaker. So we're very excited that he's going to be talking to all of you. We got to watch Brandon on ESPN a few years back win in a major ACC championship baseball game, pitching for North Carolina's Tar Heels, and now he's a professional baseball player. Where's he at? Out in Arizona right now in the warm weather.
Must be nice.
Favorite fast food spot for Izzy Hughes?
Probably Panera or Chick-fil-A.
Panera. Would you eat the bread bowl? You go bread bowl with the?
I do the you pick two, so I do the soup and the sandwich. So
I like Panera. I actually really like Panera, but I love, you mentioned Chick-fil-A. No one ever mentions the Cobb salad, the avocado. One of my
I've
favorites.
never ordered something healthy from Chick-fil-A.
Yes,
but if I did,
if I'm going
please.
fast food, it's definitely not going to be healthy. So
No, that's a good point. All right. Did we get your fast food down there? What's yours?
Mine is probably Dunkin'. I love breakfast, so it's close to here, so I can go whenever.
My children are fond of that $6 meal deal. Is that one for you too? What does that include?
Well, so my mom usually gets that. I'm more of a drink and a donut. So I usually get a jelly-filled donut and then one of their refreshers, usually the strawberry dragon fruit.
Maybe you should try a Baja Blast someday.
Maybe I should.
All right, so we got our favorite fast food spots out of the way. Now, you can choose any superpower in the world. What superpower would you choose? We'll go to Anna Schaeffer on this one.
It's a tough one. I think I would just choose to know what other people are thinking. I would choose to read someone else's mind because I definitely want to
She's a
know
snoop.
sometimes what people are thinking.
Maybe you wouldn't want to know that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe not, but
Yeah. I would love well, I don't have to worry because when I call a 2-hour delay that people don't agree with, they tell me what's on their mind right on Facebook for me. They all say, what an idiot this guy is. And so I'm very fortunate. I think people are happy to type on their comments what's on their mind
That's
when they
true.
think of me. So Isabella, what do you think? Superpower
mine
of your
would probably
choice.
be teleportation, being able to just go wherever I want. I want to visit so many places and just teleport there, not have to do all the flying there and driving there. So
And Anna Schaeffer would know where you want to teleport.
Yeah.
She would look at you
Yeah.
and say, well, Izzy's thinking about teleporting to Spain right
we're
now.
basically one person. She already knows what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
We're like this.
All right, we'll come back to the other side. Here let's go to Bella next on your favorite superpower.
Well, right now I feel like it would be duplication just because I need to be in 2 spots at the same time because of musical and track, and it's not working out for me.
Well, it is, and it's hard. It's always going to be hard.
Yeah.
And someone said to me, "How do you have time to do a podcast? Aren't you busy at work?" No, I make time because it's too important to me for the people to hear from my students. So just as it's hard for you to duplicate yourself, you're making time for both. And it's never going to be easy, but someday it's going to be, I've got to make time for my children or my job or to help with a parent or a loved one. Your dad will probably be on like a walker someday and we'll have to help him and feed him. And the only thing your dad's going to eat when he's older is soup. Her dad is the king of soup, ladies. I don't know if you know that, but he makes the greatest soups on the planet. So good. It may be tough now, but I promise you it's going to benefit you later in life. All right, superpower for you next door here. What's your thinking? You want to teleport? You want to fly?
I would say being able to freeze time. Because there's, like Bella said, like there's so much to do in a day, and especially being a senior, like just with academics and athletics and preparing for college, like balancing internships and scholarship applications, there's just so much going on. And then all the fun stuff's coming up, like April and May is all those big senior things. So I think just being able to stop the clock and make sure I have time to get everything done would be great.
So I'm going to give you a little tip on that. And because we can't freeze time, what we can do is we can acknowledge the fact that somebody a long time ago made up the 24 hours in a day thing, right? It's made up, right? I try to think of the day in 3 parts. So I think of, I have a morning routine where I like to go to the gym before work, and then I like to work my work day. So maybe say 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. is workday 1. And then 3 p.m. to probably around like 6 or 7 p.m. is workday 2 for me. Sometimes I run home and I quick throw on old clothes and I cut my grass, or I quick do something and then I throw my good clothes back on and I come back over here for day 3, which might be a concert that night or a science fair or a spring fair, which is coming up in our high school. So if you can think of your day and break it down and say, I'm going to designate this part of my day for this important work that I need to do, this part of my day to compete, which is typically after school. That's like almost like a separate day. You're going to manage all that. And someday, like I said, all of those priorities will still be there. They're just a little different. It might not be, I'm not going to run a 4x4, but I am going to advance my company, depending on the work you're doing, or work with my children on something they're getting better at. Great superpowers. I love it. We want to think of a new event, or if you could add an event in track and field. Maybe there's something that exists in a higher level track and field. What would it be? And I'm going to start us off. I want to do track and field cornhole. So my first event would be like a triathlon with cornhole. I would triple jump into the sand, and then I'd throw my cornhole, and then I'd run 1 lap, and then I'd throw my other cornhole. That's my new. No, I'm kidding.
Are you good at cornhole?
I'm not at all.
Okay.
No, but I just was making that up. I want you to have a little fun with this. So 1 event. So let's see. Let's start with Bella. Back to you on this one. 1 event. If you could add, or you've seen it in a higher level track and field, or you want to just make up a fun event, what would it be?
Honestly, I would want I don't know what it would be specifically, but I'd want another jumping event at the pit, because I know a lot of my teammates do all 3 jumping. So they do long, triple, and high jump. And then they have that one open spot that they really want to do something else, but they don't know what to do because they're not a big fan of running or throwing. Mm-hmm. So just having something else for teammates to add, that 4th event, to get even better at jumping, I'd really want to see that.
What do you think about a cartwheel jump? Cartwheel, and then you have to land in the sand.
Perfect.
Or a round off. We'll allow round offs as well.
We don't have standing long jump either.
Or we could add that, yeah.
Listen, we didn't get to you yet. You just hold. That's a great answer. You got to save that one. All right. Karlee, how about you?
So in throwing, before you start each event, you do progressions of your throwing. So you just break down every part of the throw. And for shot put, you throw it over your head to stretch out your back and your arms. And sometimes I feel like that goes farther than your actual throw. So
make that an event.
Yeah. Stand on top of the toe board. It's our blocking place in the shot put circle. Standing on top of that and then throwing it behind your head into the pit. I think that would be fun.
What if we spin you around 15 times on a baseball bat, and then you have to throw the shot put? That would be fun.
That would be dangerous.
Very. All right, we're making up events for track and field right now. Anna Schaeffer.
Well, this isn't a made-up event, but we don't have it in high school. I'd love to do like the distance medley relay. So like one person runs a mile, one person runs an 800. I don't know how high it goes up to, but there's like different variations. I think there's a 400.
It's a mile, 800,
400,
300, or 3
I'm
laps.
not sure. Yeah.
1 lap, 2 lap, 3 lap, 4 lap.
Okay, yeah. So like I'd like to do that. I think that would be so fun. And I think we have a team this year that could really like have fun at that.
Yeah,
and
you
do
could have
well,
done that.
So.
No doubt. All right, Izzy, it's your turn. We've been waiting for this moment. You have great ideas here. I want to hear them.
I would we don't have this, but I've seen it. Like they competed this at New Balance Nationals. It's like a shuttle hurdle relay. So like one person will start at the beginning of the 60 meter and run to the other side, and then once that person gets to finish, the other person will run. It just goes back and forth with 4 people. I think that'd be fun, even though we don't have a lot of hurdlers. If I did, then it would be so fun.
I have crazy events going through my head right now. Like we could make track and field.
Yeah, we also don't have pole vault either, which I don't know why our school took it out. That would have been so fun too.
Yeah, I don't know why either. To be honest with you, maybe a lack of competitors in years past.
Maybe,
I'm not sure.
That pole vault record's gonna stay there though.
Who has the pole vault record?
I'm not sure, but it's gonna stay there.
But
That one's safe.
Yeah, that one's safe.
Off limits.
That one is definitely safe. All right. Other than Rotary Field, what's your favorite venue to compete in? Anna Schaeffer, we'll go to you.
I don't know. I'd probably say Blue Mountain because that's where I got my best times at, and it's right down the road.
Is that an 8-lane track?
Yes, it has to be because that's where we had districts last year.
Gotcha. So right down the road. Good for you. Karlee, how about your favorite venue other than Rotary Field?
I would also say Blue Mountain. I think their track setup is very similar to ours, so it's easy to make that transition. And also, Leagues was at Tamaqua last year, and I liked the setup of their shot and discus, so I would definitely compete there again.
Tamaqua, Blue Mountain so far. Bella, how about you?
I would also say Blue Mountain, again, because they're close and because I love their concession stand. They always have such good food.
So what's your go-to food at Blue Mountain's concession stand?
The soft pretzels.
Okay. They're not stingy with the salt either. I've had one there. Yes. Izzy.
Okay, I'm gonna be different.
Save
I'm
us.
gonna say Jim Thorpe because that's where I broke the record sophomore year. I think it just like holds like a special place in my heart, and I just like competing there because I think there's good competition there too. But it's
And
just
we're talking about track and field.
Yeah.
It's Jim Thorpe.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's so pretty there too. I love Jim Thorpe.
that's actually a beautiful setting there, especially when everything's
The
green.
town's
and-
so nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. All right, so we had Tamaqua, Jim Thorpe, Blue Mountain, and then, of course, our beloved Rotary Field as our favorite venues to compete. Last one, have a little fun with this one. We'll start with Bella Murphy because she is our singer in the group. What is your favorite song to sing in the car? Favorite song to sing in the car, and you don't care if anybody sees you.
I love Disney songs, so right now I've been obsessed with The Little Mermaid, so probably Part of Your World.
Give us like one little verse. One little...
No.
Okay.
You'll have
Come on,
to see
Ariel.
that this weekend.
Oh, yeah. You will be able to see Bella sing this weekend in our musical Pop Stars. What song do you sing in Pop
I'm
Stars?
just gonna say.
I sing a bunch of songs,
Yeah.
but the main two I sing are You Get What You Give and The Best Things in Life Are Free.
Yeah, she does a great job, too. Bella Murphy is a very talented young lady. I'm so proud of the diversity that you show being an athlete and then not being afraid to get up there on that stage. Karlee, what's your favorite song to sing in the car out loud? Everybody's watching you. You're like, I don't care. I'm still singing.
I'm such a big like car singer. Like I can't even think of like a specific song. It like just depends like where I'm going or like what I'm doing. So like if I'm just like going on like a drive just to clear my mind, it's like something like pop or something more like mellow. Like if I'm going to the gym, it's usually like rap or I like to listen to like rock before meets. Like I don't know, like heavy rock. I
You
feel
mean
like I got that.
Metallica, or are we talking AC/DC? You don't
Like
care?
anything really. I think
Yeah.
I got that from my dad. That was the music I grew up around. So I think it just helps me lock in.
What I think it's fun, you're all growing up in an era where you have the ability to take control of the family radio. We didn't have that. When I was a kid, you sat in the back seat and whatever your dad had on or your mom had on in that car, you were going to tolerate it. Where you magically Bluetooth connect and all of a sudden we're listening to Miley Cyrus. So I was traveling with my family on a pouring down day, raining. And I've told this story before, but we were on our way to a soccer tournament. It was going to be a cold, miserable day. And we were halfway there and we got the call that said the tournament is canceled. There's just too much rain. And immediately from the back seat, my daughter and her friend queued up Miley Cyrus. This calls for Party in the USA. And they blasted that, and they were very happy that the rain canceled that long weekend. So favorite song to sing in the car for Anna Schaeffer?
I think mine changes on a weekly basis with like my new weekly obsession. But recently I've been into like older music, like not old, but I don't know. So like Pink Houses by like John Mellencamp. I don't know. Or Compo.
Yeah, that's
his last name,
80s. Yeah, John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yeah,
I think he added the Cougar part. Or did he get rid of the Cougar? He was Cougar, and then he left and he went straight to Mellencamp. But that's good. That's good music, though.
Just upbeat. Makes me happy. So
Little Pink Houses. All right. Over here, Izzy, your favorite song to sing in the car to wrap up our dirty half dozen?
I'm kind of like Anna. I'm kind of like a weekly basis person. There's like always a new song that I'm like singing, but like an artist that I've been listening to recently is probably Megan Maroney. I want to go see her concert. She's on tour right now. But.
So Megan Maroney, I think I did see her. Did she play in Allentown a summer or two back?
I think so, yeah.
I was there for that, yeah.
She's just been getting popular like this past year. And it's like cool to see because I think like
She's
our
a lady.
generation is like so full of like people just like coming up and just becoming artists, and it's so cool.
Yeah, I actually saw her sing. I believe she was on stage for Bethlehem's Music Fest a couple summers ago, and got to see her perform. She is great.
Oh yeah,
good
she's
music.
Awesome.
So, folks, these are 4 very talented student athletes, some seniors, a junior with us, and you're going to get to watch them for one last spring here. So for our seniors, come out and cheer them on at track and field. Girls, this has been a great episode. I can't wait till it warms up and I can enjoy some track and field. And I'm going to make a point to stand over by the throwing area, stand closer to there, because I can see more when I stand over there. And I'll be able to watch you throw them, still be able to watch all these girls run, and then keep competing. I'd love to see more names, more stickers. I don't mind spending money on stickers to cover up old names on that board.
We'll make it happen.
Make it happen. Let's break some more records, and let's hang some more stickers on that board. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
It's been great. Good luck this season. Be sure to like and share this podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Deep Dive with Dr. Fitz, and check us out on Spotify, Deep Dive with Dr. Fitz. We are there as well. And by the way, it's a great time to come out and see these girls, but no matter what you do in life, remember, make the positives so loud that the negatives are impossible to hear.